I always see women talking about how they are either lost themselves in motherhood, they're trying to find themselves again, or maybe they're afraid to lose themselves in motherhood because they're not moms yet. One of the most beautiful parts of motherhood for me is the fact that I have gotten to meet so many new versions of myself. And honestly, I have found my truest and best version of myself ever since I became a mom. Of course, maybe you do lose yourself, but that's just because as you go through life and you grow and you change, you lose that old self of yours and you evolve into a newer, different, hopefully better person or better version of yourself. It's all throughout life, right? I mean, think about who you were in high school. I don't think that that was me, you know? I mean, of course that was a version of me, but that wasn't the truest me. I didn't feel like my truest self, okay? Now that I'm 32, I'm a mom of 4 kids. Obviously, a lot of this has to do with growing and maturing and things like that. I am the best freaking version of myself, okay? I went to therapy, found who I am, what I like, the confidence in myself, my energy. I'm truly me, and I'm happy to be truly me, where I feel like as you're growing up, you're trying to really find who you are. You're trying to find what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, what your purpose is, you know? At least for myself, I have found my purpose, and my purpose was becoming a mother. Of course, there's other purposes for me, but you just meet new versions of yourself. And while, yeah, you might have lost a certain version of yourself, you've grown into a new version of yourself, and you're going to continue growing into a new version of yourself. And it's the same thing with your kids, which I love this. I think this is the coolest part about being a parent. One of the coolest parts. I can speak all day about the most amazing aspects of motherhood, but do you know how many versions of our kids we get to meet? Which to me just makes me want to cry. Like, I will seriously cry right now. But think about all the different versions of each of your children that you've met. You had the newborn baby version of them. Then they grew into a little infant version of them. And then a toddler. And then an older toddler. Then a little kid. And then, you know what I mean? My oldest is 7. He just turned 7, and he is like, I forget the versions that he was before, but I can't wait to meet the next version of him. And so it's like the same thing with yourself. Like, I can't wait to meet the next version of myself, you know? You grow as a mother and you grow as a human. And I feel like you just constantly get better, you know, especially if you are into personal development and self-development and being the best version of yourself. You're constantly meeting a new and improved, beautiful version of yourself. So instead of being afraid of losing yourself, yeah, you might lose the old you, but you're going to meet an even better version of yourself, you know? You're going to meet a different version of yourself. And to me, that is so beautiful. It's the same thing with your husband, your spouse. You meet new versions and you fall in love with new versions of them. You fall in love with new versions of your kids. And now you should also be falling in love with new versions of yourself.